Oh, hey, and we are live on Friday. Here we are again, Dr. Ingrid, the Real Talk MD. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're joining me live, it's a little bit after 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You have to forgive me. I'm a little tardy for the party, but I am here in the flesh, giving you all that I have at the end of a week. That's how most of us feel, right? Like we've gotten beaten throughout the week. It's been a tough week. We've had a lot of, ever since last week, a lot of changes in the political atmosphere, a lot of changes that are going on, positive changes, as we look at how this vaccine is going to be rolled out. Although the COVID numbers are still very high, we're in the thick of this pandemic. We still made it to Friday. We are here. And what are we doing today? We are finding peace and purpose. That's what I am here to do, to help you understand, how do you find this peace? How do you find your purpose in life? Well, I'm going to give you a little insight as to the things that you can do. But again, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Ingrid. I'm a board certified psychiatrist, licensed in New York, New Jersey, and also California. For more information, you can reach out to me as you see below. My email at info@montgomerysite.org. So you can speak to me. We can discuss a little bit further what we're going to go into detail here about today. Finding peace and purpose. This is a tough one. I can tell you, this is a tough one, but it's an excited one, because I'm going to give you just a couple of tips. Not going to go into great detail of the things, and some of these things you'll see as you go back through these live recordings or some of these discussions. There's always an underlining theme of things in which you can do all around in every domain of your life with any issue that you're having. And that's in finding peace and purpose. Some of these things you've heard me say before, but I'm going to just give to you so that you can understand that if you are exercising these things in your life, you need to understand what you're doing. So let's start by finding purpose. What is your purpose? How do you define your purpose? Who are you? What ticks you? What ticks you off? I want you to take a moment and just make a list of things that you find as strengths for yourself and those things that you have considered as weaknesses in your life. That will be the beginning in understanding who you are and in order to define your purpose. Also, look at the things that you like that are happening in your life. The things that you like about yourself, whether it's emotional, maybe you are that stronger person that a lot of people may depend on to solve their issues. But the question is, who's there for you? Also identifying what are some of the things you would like to change in your life, some of the things that you don't necessarily like that you want to improve upon. Sitting down and making a list, even if it's just a mental list or just giving it some thought. We're so busy. We're on social media, we're with the kids, we're trying to take care of sick family members. We're trying to find other jobs because the job market is not where it needs to be. We're trying to just make ends meet. We have jobs, we're trying to work from home and to disintegrate, work life from home life, but there's not much things open because one is winter and then secondly, we're in the pandemic. So a lot of those freedoms that we had before, we don't really have the luxury of having them. And I say luxury right now because those things that we oftentimes took for granted, that we now see them as, oh my God, I can't wait until I get out to do these things in the pandemic. So taking notice of some of the things in your life that you will want to change by mental note. Do you need a more of a support system? Do you need other people around you that are like-minded? This helps you in developing purpose when you're able to see and you're able to identify a support system or group of people who have similar beliefs as you, or you may have explored different topics This is the next thing, exploring things that you otherwise, may find interesting. Well, maybe I want to know more about becoming a health coach, or maybe I want to know more about what does it mean to be a mental health professional, or what does it mean, this saying or this particular song, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's a new dance on TikTok you may want to try. I don't know. But dig in and see what interests you and build upon those interests. But again, having a great support system is always, always great. So, because sometimes people can see the things that we otherwise cannot see. And sometimes that's that purpose in our lives that we can't see for ourselves that others can see. So it may mean that you need to get personal support from people that you trust, friends, family, maybe a partner, and giving you the feedback as to things that you can improve upon or things that they see that are your strengths in you. If you don't have that personal support, or you want to build your support system, because you can never get enough support. It takes a village. You can reach out to me, info@montgomerypsych.org. I'll be more than happy to just chat with you a little bit about things that we can work on, how we can improve those areas in your life. And maybe I can help to reframe some of the things that you may have that you are strong about that you are missing. So take the time to get to know yourself is the next step. Being introspective, taking the time and to see what certain things mean to you and what you mean to them, and how you integrate in your environment and within the things that you do in your day-to-day lives. Looking at the goals that we have set for ourselves. Forget about these yearly goals. Oftentimes people do it. There's a vision board. So I may even have to say that I totally created a vision board for the last 3 years, 3 weeks, 3 years. And the 2020 vision board is still thriving because it's what I made out of it. What I'm saying to you is the goals that we set long term, a lot of times we have to reevaluate those goals for short term. And we have to look at those specific objectives that we have tried to put in place so that we can achieve these bigger goals, right? So having small goals or small objectives to reach the bigger long-term goal would also help you to find purpose is as we move forward. So what I'm saying is, look and see, what is your goal? Your goal may be, okay, I want to become a model. That's not my goal, but that may be your goal. May want to become a model. So what do you do to do that? Okay, well, grooming is important in your everyday life. As a model, it's about your appearance. It's about how you relate to people, even nonverbal communication. So those are some of the skills that you can, it's going to definitely help your life to improve by learning how to, in a positive way, have non-communication skills, or in a positive way to communicate. We're talking about people who may desire to become a model, or playing around with a different hairstyle, or playing around with different clothing or colors that excite you, that are vibrant, looking at different models and see what they're doing, just to make ourselves feel that we have purpose at that point in time. The modeling industry is extremely difficult to enter into, but it does not state that you cannot strive with your own goal. So again, we're talking about setting goals, but setting those smaller goals that we can do in our practical day-to-day lives. That is what would bring us purpose. Last thing I want to speak about as far as purpose is setting boundaries. That's right. You may say, Dr. Ingrid, what do you mean? We're talking about finding purpose, so that should be about no boundaries there. That should be limitless. Well, let me tell you something. When it comes to different people having the opportunity to infiltrate your ideas and the way that you think and your emotions, and if it's not of a positive nature, then you do need to set those boundaries and those limitations, because we're going to move on to peace. If you don't have peace, you're not going to be able to define your purpose. I'm going to say that again. If you do not have peace in your life, you cannot define your purpose. It's very difficult to derive at your purpose in life when you do not have peace right here, every day around you. So having peace sometimes means that you have to set limits in your life as to certain things that you would do, whether that is using drugs, whether that's drinking excessive alcohol, whether it is anything that may be detrimental to the body, the mind, and the spirit. You have to set those boundaries in order to find your peace. And that is another part that we're talking about today. I'm just going to stop really quickly to see if we have any questions. I see a couple of people have joined. So thank you again so much for joining me. I'm Dr. Ingrid, a board certified psychiatrist. I'm licensed in New York, New Jersey, and California. And I'm just here today on the Freestyle Friday, just celebrating my triumph in making it these last 6 days, making it to the end of the week, going into the weekend to start a new week. That's all that I'm here to do. Do we have any questions that we have right now? Anyone wants to know about finding purpose, peace? We're going to talk about peace secondly. I have someone here with me that's helping me to look at the comments and just want to say hi.
We did not get a question, but we got a comment.
Okay.
Gail Robinson says hi.
Gail Robinson, what's up? Gail Robinson is a phenomenal frontline nurse. She dedicates her life to the most chronic and sickest, dangerous, mentally ill individuals in the state of New York. Gail, my hat goes off to you, dear. Not with the ponytail, but when I do wear a hat, it's going to go off to you. I miss you. I'm so happy that you jumped on this live, and we're talking about purpose. So defining your purpose, and we're moving forward to talk about how do you get to purpose? Well, you got to get peace in your life. How do you get that peace? You got to set those boundaries, and you have to accept who you are. Love the skin that you are in. That's number one. Secondly, you can't compare yourself to nobody. Nobody at all. I'm going to give you a little insight. So I'm a singer. I'm a part of a band, and that is my therapy. That keeps me ticking. Like, music is my medicine all day long. I don't go around singing all the time. I don't go around broadcasting to people that I'm a musician, because I don't classify myself as being a professional musician, right? If you see behind me, I have my orientation is the opposite way. So to this side, to this side, you see there's some bells. Then I have my piano. Then you may see my flute there. And I may tickle a little bit on the keys, but this is my therapy. I don't come down in this little area often. This is like my time to kind of get away from whatever I may be struggling with throughout the week. So a family member of mine who is a professional musician, who loves music, who is like, okay, I think you need to try some other chords. You need to, switch it up. Well, guess what? I ain't going to do that because I don't want to. I want to continue to do what I can do within my capacity. I have a producer. I have a music director. I have a person over my band, and we collaborate when we're ready to perform. This is not a performance. This is just my therapy. This is my discussion on topics that can be very heavy-hearted, to do it in a very light way so that you can kind of remember some of the things we talk about, but it's no means any medical advice. I want to just remind everyone of that. And secondly, it's not about perfection. So peace is not about perfection. That's another thing. So I had to find peace within myself to say, okay, should I change this up? And I'm like, I can't change it up. One, do I have the time to do it? Do I have the capacity to do it? And what will be the purpose and the reason of doing it? It will be the purpose for someone else, not for Dr. Ingrid. So I say to you, if you're still listening, Gail, if you're still listening, whoever is on this, you find peace with what you want to do and make yourself happy. The peace that other people want to see in you that they may suggest is things that they may want to do, that they're trying to project onto you. And if it's something that you don't feel comfortable doing, that does not feel free, does not feel natural, does not feel of interest, then don't do it. That means that you are seeking to not have peace, because you're going to be struggling to get to what they want you to do and to what they want you to be, how they want you to look. That's not peace. And if you can't get peace, you can't find purpose. So we're talking about finding peace and purpose today. So I hope that I'm helping someone today. Again, I'm Dr. Ingrid, board certified psychiatrist, just here today, sharing my information, trying to help individuals finding peace and purpose. And we're just going to keep this thing rolling. If you need any more additional information, you can always reach me by email at info@montgomerypsych.org. It is ticking across the screen, and we can have a more in-depth conversation. But we're going to keep going with what we're talking about today. So accepting yourself, being mindful, again, setting those boundaries. You don't know how important it is to set boundaries, particularly when people are around you and there's so much negativity, unsolicited. I mean, you turn on the TV is negative. You walk to the store is negativity, even by way of, I know we have to do this for health reasons. And by no means am I telling people not to wear a mask. Wear your mask, wash your hands, stay safe. But even the concept of going out with a mask on can be restricting. It can also be, set you in a state where you feel that you can't have peace, or that you are set by boundaries, even though they're healthy boundaries, but there's so much that we cannot do that we need to do to stay safe, okay? So finding your peace is understanding and embracing when we do have those boundaries, embracing the things that are different, the things that we no longer can do, to recreate, okay, what can I do in the sense of the pandemic? What can I do in the sense of whatever I am to myself, and what am I to the world? How do I fit into this puzzle and find my peace? Embrace your emotions. There's a lot of emotions going wild. People are anxious. People are angry. People are frustrated. People are just downright tired. Embrace that. What do you mean by embracing it? Take note and say to yourself, what am I feeling? Because sometimes I have to sit and say, okay, something is off. Something is really, really off. What is making me feel this way? And what is the emotion that I'm feeling? You have to identify the source of what's causing the emotion and to put a label and a name to that emotion. Once you're able to do that, you can accept it better. So let's say, for instance, if that emotion is anxiety and you're anxious in the middle of hearing something or doing something, one thing that you can do is mindfulness. That's being in the moment, grounding yourself, putting both feet flat on the ground, closing your eyes, thinking yourself peaceful. Thinking yourself peaceful. If you're at work, you need to just take a break, a mental break. Think about something that is enjoyable. Set goals at the end of the day for yourself to find the peace, to relax, to reward yourself, to get through the day. I don't care what it is. You may not be working every day. Say that you are without a job, but finding a job in itself is work. They say put in 8 hours a day in order to find one job. That means you got to get your resume together. You got to follow up with calls. You're on Indeed, you're on LinkedIn, whatever it is, and say that things are not turning around and people are not calling you back. That does not mean you still don't have purpose. That doesn't mean that needs to take your peace away from you. It means that you need to embrace that I have done well. I'm still alive. I'm doing the best that I can. So let me reward myself. So as you sit there in the throes of, say, anxiety or frustration or whatever the meanings of those negative vibes are, think yourself peaceful as to how am I going to reward myself for making it through the entire day without doing the things that you may not want to do, or without whatever that goal may be. Thinking yourself peaceful that I made it to the end of the week. We made it to Friday. Reward yourself in some way. Give it to you, whatever it is that you feel you deserve, because you have made it to today. That's how you find your peace. Setting those goals, rewarding yourself, grounding yourself, communicating your emotions to someone, tapping into your creativity. I also have been doing some lives on IG with a couple of artists about just how art therapy is amazing. I have individuals who have told me that they do some app where they're like coloring And I know it may sound very juvenile, but colors bring life, right? And if you find something that interests you, that is creative, and it takes you into a place of imagination, that could be by reading a book, it could be by way of listening to music, or whatever it is, get into that creative mode, because that gives you that peace right there in the moment. And it kind of gets you out of whatever that stressful environment may be. Now, if there's any, and I'm going to just add this piece here because it's just coming up in my spirit. If there's any tendency that you're in a relationship of abuse or neglect, then of course there are resources that you need to reach out to get that help that you need. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about if you are in a decent living situation that harm is not present to you, or you've overcome that and you are a survivor. Congratulations, because recovery for survivors is something that is ongoing. We're talking about once you get into that state of recovery, not in the active phase of being in an abusive relationship. How do you find that peace and regain your purpose? That's what we're talking about today. So being creative, tapping into getting an outlet, tapping into things that you can do that make you feel good, that are healthy, that keeps that mind going, connecting with other like-minded people. Connecting with other like-minded people. I can tell you that I was given an invitation on to be a part or to be a member of Clubhouse. And you can definitely choose how you want to navigate that particular app. It's still in beta form, so everyone does not have an invitation to it. But I can tell you from the time that I joined earlier, maybe 2 weeks ago, that there are so many like-minded people that I just enjoy connecting to other people who are on the same mission in life. Whether that mission is a personal mission or a collective mission as a community, as a race, as a religion, as a world. To have like-minded people gives you a sense of peace. It also gives you a sense of acceptance, and also that sense of purpose. So connecting with the right people, connecting is so very important. Last but not least, before you do any of this stuff that we are talking about, you have to love yourself. We're talking about self-love, self-care, acceptance of whatever it is in your life. The things that you want to change, try to change them to the best of your abilities. If you need additional resources, then you need to seek those resources out. Whatever that may be, whatever those resources may be to get you to the next level that you desire. And again, you can always contact me, reach out at info@montgomerypsych.org, and we can talk a little bit more about how to move forward to defining your peace and also finding your purpose. So being selfish is not a bad thing. Putting yourself first to take care of yourself is the most important thing that you have to do in order to find your purpose and to find your peace. Thinking yourself peaceful means to put yourself first, to be selfish in a way where you are doing what you need to do for yourself to survive physically, mentally, and spiritually. Because we have survived this week. We've made it to another Friday. We're going to freestyle it. Although I know I'm going to tell you who it is. My brother told me, you need to stop. You need to switch it up. I ain't switching nothing up because I don't, number one, have the time to do it. And I'm just going to let my spirit flow the way that my spirit flows. And I have to be me. I can't be nobody else. I've tried it and it don't work. So you have to be you as far as having that peace. And in defining your purpose, you have to be who you are. You cannot be me and I cannot be you. So again, I am Dr. Ingrid, board certified psychiatrist, licensed in New York, New Jersey, and California. I'm located in Rockland County. You can reach me at info@montgomerypsych.org. We can talk a little bit more about those things that you need help with, or just if you just want some extra support in your life. We all could use that extra support right about now. So I hope that I helped you to define your peace and to define your purpose in life. And we're going to do what? Freestyle it. That's right. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to slow it down a little bit. Y'all know I have to give y'all my heartbeat. Do we have any questions before we go into
Yes.
Freestyle. What questions do we have? I love questions.
How do you set boundaries with your family so you can find peace?
How do you set boundaries with your family to find that peace? So, very, very good question, because I find myself not only with family, but different individuals, to protect my emotional and mental peace. And I have to just be very transparent here. Yes, I am a board certified psychiatrist, but guess what? I'm human. Yeah, that's right. I am human. I have emotions, I have feelings, I have things that are going on in my life. Do I allow that to transcend into my professional life? Absolutely not. But in my personal life, I do set those boundaries, and I have to set them very, very strictly. And I say it with love. It's not as though you're not answering people's calls when they call you and they need things, but the way that you do that, to whoever asked that great, great question, is to communicate to your family what your needs are. It's not to place blame on them, because maybe they are functioning in the capacity in which they know. And that capacity may be a lot of times just being receivers to snatch your energy, and they need things from you because maybe you are the stronger one in the family. So how do you set those boundaries? It's basically having a conversation with your family, and letting them know how you feel, and the things that you are going through, if you're going through anything, and how can you be available to them. And that if a change is going to happen in your life, to the best of your ability, to prepare them and say, well, next month or next week, I'm going to be working 2 jobs. And I may not have the time that I used to have to just kind of hang out with you guys. Doesn't mean that I love you any less, because you're my family and I love you, but I just may not have the time to do so. You can simply let them know, I feel anxious right now. I'm not feeling my best right now, and I just kind of need a little time to myself. Doesn't mean that I love you any less, but I need a little time. So that's how you can set boundaries in a way where you're not accusing others, you're not placing the blame, you're not allowing those individuals to feel that they've done anything wrong, because again, people operate within the capacity that they have, and that's just the end of the story. So I hope that has helped someone in understanding how you can use the example of setting boundaries in a soft way without being very hardcore and blaming people and destroying relationships. Next month is February. There's a lot happening in February for myself. It's February is Black History Month. It also is Valentine's Day, so that we'll see the red and the pinks and the whites and the love and the couples and all of this juiciness, right? Well, I want to say that relationships are so important in life, and that number one most important relationship. I'm so excited. I'm stumbling over my own tongue. The most important relationship is the relationship that you have with you. That's right. So, self love, self care, loving you is what we're going to be talking about next month a lot about relationships. But also, we cannot forego those other important relationships in our lives that we may have with significant others or family members or children or whatever it is. So, thank you for your questions. We're going to end this Freestyle Friday as we always do. You know how we do it, and we're going to do it very, very true. With a little tapping, we got our heartbeat going. We're going to keep this heartbeat going, because it's going to keep us alive, and this is what's going to give us the peace that we need. The heartbeat. Peace. Say peace. 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 I need peace. Peace. that is our freestyle. We got to keep the heartbeat going, right? That's what's going to keep us alive so that we can find our peace, which leads us to find our purpose. I'm Dr. Ingrid. I'm board certified psychiatrist located in Rockland County. And I can tell you, I've had a ball today. And if you need to reach me, the ticker across the screen, you can get me at info@montgomerypsych.org. Now, our affirmation for next week is, guess what it is? I want somebody to guess. Can somebody guess? Do we have any guesses in the comments? Do we have any suggestions in the comments? Got any suggestions over there for our affirmation for next week?
Yes.
What we got?
Self-love.
Self-love. Self-love. Woo! Somebody said self-love, so that's our affirmation for the week. Self-love. So love yourself. Find peace. You can't have purpose without peace. And that ends our live. Thank you. I'm Dr. Ingrid. Look forward to seeing you next week because we made it! And we freestyle today on Friday. So congratulate yourself. Hip, hip, hooray. We've made it to another day. Thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Have a safe weekend. Later.